We are getting pretty close here. Our Zapier connection is completed. It's being, um, I guess, connected and uploaded and connected. See, they make a little API that our contact form connects to, and we had to make a little partition thing to separate the connections from one account user's set of forms to Zapier and another account user's. Um, Businesses like Zapier have their API documentation, and you have to just kind of work backwards from there to your program. We had some other add-ons that were similar, to connect to other programs like Active Campaign. We could look at them, but then we had to do something different with Zapier. So Zapier is really, really cool. You can connect to 1,500 different programs through their third-party service. So what you'll be able to do is connect your account on DocupletionForms to Zapier, and you make what's called um, a zap between our program and another program. Each time you zap, it's called a task. So you have different accounts over at Zapier with different number of tasks that you can take care of. I think it's $50 for 1,000. That's the one that I use. I never run out of tasks, so it works for me. And you can have multiple zaps, like I think they're called branches or routing in Zapier. So you can have like conditional zaps. It's pretty interesting, all the stuff you can do. There's a lot of third-party integration software out there, but Zapier is one of the most well-known to people who are just individual professional business people. If you have a larger enterprise type of business, the integration programs that are out there like Tray.io, they start at around $600, and Zapier's top end is at about $600. So it's two different demographics. One thing that software businesses do is they will do away once they grow larger and have enough enterprise clients. They'll do away with their smaller subscription levels, even though they could maintain a smaller subscription level for some people. These larger businesses look at a software business that has too low of an offering, and they think, oh, well, this is a small potatoes business, which, I mean, that would be maybe their small potatoes department. But that's what happens. You get good at something, and then you go after larger money, and people kind of graduate upwards, or they stay committed to their initial niche. Um, I don't know what to say about that, because my full commitment is to individual professionals with small businesses who want to use document automation software and efficiency tools. And my commitment is to making a suite of tools that help people keep their information organized and route that data into other mainline document preparation programs. Each industry has a different type of document program. Like ZipForms Plus is what realtors use a lot of the time. I think it's pretty much the main program now in real estate. I used to use WinForms before I enlisted in the Marines in 2007. And I think they're still around, but I've gotten into paralegal work since then. I went through my paralegal training program in 2014 at the University of San Diego and got out and immediately started studying the ethics of non-lawyer and lawyer and other legal document related professional use of automated systems online, and just the ethics of what different types of registered professionals and different types of licensed professionals can and cannot do using software. And that's how I've gotten into the position I'm in now with a growing software business, DocupletionForms.com. People can use our free conditional logic contact form, which is one of the main philosophical legal components to an expert law system. Is that when you or I make a contact form that we put on our website, and somebody else goes to our website and they start filling it out, well, if they answer one question one way or a different way, a different next question pops up. So they're answering questions, and each question maybe will have like a few different answer options, and there'll be a little, you can make a little statement that talks about the significance of answering the question one way or the other. And so someone is sort of, in a sense, giving you informed direction as to what they want done. So, as a bonded and registered legal document assistant, we have this, and I'm not currently bonded or registered as an LDA. I'm only doing paralegal work with Apex Law Service, but I'm going to re-register. We do work for attorneys, and the direct public can come to us, and we can introduce you to an attorney who will use us, so that you save money by availing yourself to our lower costs. And the attorneys like using us because they don't have to market to find a client, so they don't charge money on top of our paralegal hour. So that's how that works. But we have this mandatory legal disclosure that legal document assistants in the state of California have to use. It says, I am not an attorney. I provide self-help services only at the specific direction of my client. So someone filling out a conditional logic contact form that has multiple questions serves as the specific direction from a potential client as with respect to what they want you to do. They don't even necessarily know, but all you're giving them in asking those questions with little statements of information is information. It's not advice. It cannot be legal advice. There's no way to give legal advice with conditional logic software. There is some talk about where AI is going to take the discussion about whether AI will ever truly be considered legal advice, because legal advice is basically defined as the dispensation of a suggested route through a legal situation by one human given to another human after applying the unaided human intellect to the fact pattern as presented by the first human. The client tells their story, and then the attorney applies all, or whoever, the other person who either does or does not have the right to give legal advice, whether they do or don't de facto give legal advice. Humans do the same thing. We all do the same thing. We listen to a story, and then we say something, we respond some way. But I respond, okay, if you start talking with me about some legal situation, I don't give legal advice. I'll tell you, this isn't legal advice. This is me asking you maybe some more questions and saying, oh, that sounds like this area of law, this area of law, this area of law. There's these types of situations that happen. Did this occur? Did this occur? Did this occur? I do intake that way, and I give over an intake file to an attorney, and then they contact you, and you can hire them if you want to, and then they'll use me and my subcontractors, and apexlawservice.com is how you get in contact with us for that. But it's a very small operation. I'm building it larger, but I'm concurrently focused on these two business types. My conditional logic contact form growing into a full expert law system, and my outsourced paralegal business. And it has to do with upholding the law of unauthorized practice of law, making sure that I never give legal advice or never let people think that I'm somehow intimating that I can represent them or give them legal advice. I could only connect you to an attorney who you and the attorney can decide that the attorney wants to be your attorney, and they give you their prices, and then you hire them, and then they will use us. So I have a contract you can sign first with me, with Apex Law Service, and then I go to the attorney and I say, here, would you like to be one of our attorney clients? And we'll do outsourced paralegal work for you. And we have a client who wants to hire an attorney who does what you do. Will you please sign this first and agree to use us for the outsourced paralegal hours? So we ourselves are not establishing the attorney-client relationship. So there's parallels that cross over between expert law systems with respect to unauthorized practice of law and law service non-lawyer businesses. There is one case. It's really, really interesting. My dad's cousin is a retired Ninth Circuit judge. He was not one of the Ninth Circuit judges who sat on this case. It's a Ninth Circuit case called In Re Reynoso, and it's about technology, but it's not per se about unauthorized practice of law and the use of expert law systems. It's about 11 U.S.C. 110, which prohibits non-lawyer bankruptcy petition preparers from using anything other than federal bankruptcy petition paperwork to do client intake. So let's say if you want to prepare a bankruptcy petition for someone and you're not a lawyer, where you can't give them legal advice, you basically can only do an interview with them and put the information they gave you right in the federal paperwork. So you can't have any intermediary. Like, I mean, to stay the safest, you wouldn't even want to write notes down on a piece of scratch paper. You'd only want to put it right into the actual federal bankruptcy paperwork, and that's what In Re Reynoso was about. It was about this company's use of an expert law system to do bankruptcy petition preparation, and it's the way it came about that issue was brought up was that this guy Jason Reynoso bought this bankruptcy software or tax software. I'm not actually sure at the moment which it was. I can't remember actually, but it started. So he was going through answering the questions, and then it would pop out these little suggestions, like boom, 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 boom. Well, he didn't like the suggestions. He thought the suggestions were suggestions for him to skirt the law so thoroughly that it was breaking the law. So he brought it up to, I think, I don't know who he brought it up to, probably the federal prosecutors. And they looked at it and they said, well, he's not supposed to be, this company's not supposed to be making an expert law system because they're not an attorney using an expert law system. Like, if they made that software and let an attorney use it, it would be different. But it was this business that was not, and I don't think there's an actual registration to be a federal bankruptcy petition preparer. I think you just have to follow the law the right way, sort of like how Social Security Administration works. There might be something. I don't deal with that without doing work for an attorney. What you can do, though, you can use an expert law system to ask somebody all of these questions, as long as you don't give them back any communication before you give that file to an attorney, or contact an attorney and say, we have a client, and then contact the client and say, hey, will you talk with this attorney? We have your file here. We want to give it to them. Is it okay for us to give it to them? They'll talk with you and talk to you about what it takes to deal with your bankruptcy case. And you might have already completed 100% of the paperwork. You can serve up to an attorney a perfect package of documents already completed, and they ratify your work. You can't charge any money until you know that work is going to be used by an attorney. But you can go to down a list, a line of attorneys, until one of them accepts it. You basically know that if you know the law of how one of these processes works and you do a whole ton of work, you can find an attorney to ratify it. If you are boned up on your specific niche of law, you can do that as a paralegal. And that's what we do with Apex Law Service. So that's not what this company did, though. So, I mean, my two solutions, an expert law system and a law service, put you in a position where you have to know what you're doing, what you're talking about. You have to not violate the law, but it's a way of contracting and a way of using technology that helps you to help more people access justice, to help them save money. It gives you a career no matter what happens. Different things happen and people have to leave different law offices for different reasons. Sometimes things don't work out, but you can't stall your mind out and just go, oh, I'm going to go back to doing what I did in high school. Working at a golf course, or you can. People do it. There's people who are older who work at golf courses, but usually they don't come out of the law industry and then go, oh, I'm going to be satisfied doing this other set of things that I used to do that didn't require me to use any type of juridical reasoning whatsoever. You just might want to look at how what it is that you can do to start your own business, and you don't always have to be focused on it 100% of the time. I have Apex Law Service, and I do different work for different people. I have a consulting tab on there, and I have Apex's documents. The documents that we use, I make them open and free to the public so you can see what it is that we actually do to contract with someone who has a legal issue. We do that first, and then I go to an attorney and I contract with them. I say, hey, are you interested in talking with this client? Because if you sign this contract and agree to use us for the paralegal hours, we'll introduce you to a client. Maybe they'll hire you, maybe they won't, but you have to establish that. And we say, and this is they've actually signed this contract that they want you to use. Now, we ask that you try to use this contract, but if you and they need to use some different contract, that's fine. But it's our right to give a document like that to the client with the legal issue and have them sign it. I do say, hey, this attorney will talk with you about whatever they want to talk to you about. I don't control them in any way, shape, or form. They control us once you hire them. And that usually clarifies everything from the get-go. We have a memorandum of understanding, though, also that just kind of encapsulates this type of way of contracting. And then I use an independent contractor agreement with the paralegals. I generally don't have more than like half-time work for someone. It's just as the case unfolds. So we have the issue in California of needing to provide benefits for people, and the political machine kind of doing away with the gig economy. Our law industry is a little different because if we're independent professionals and we do work like this, it's kind of hard if we're doing things on a case-by-case basis to completely require benefits. But I am working on actually hiring the first 2 full-time employees after we open our physical office in Vista, across the street from the Vista County Courthouse. It's going to be awesome being right there by the law library and the courthouse, because they're other than the fact that they don't have a small claims court anymore up here in North County, it's going to be awesome being by the civil side of the courthouse and the criminal side of the courthouse, family law in the middle, traffic court right there, county jails right there. I don't know about the legality of it, but I would love to go on Saturday and Sunday morning and just sit out there with some breakfast tacos and orange juice, right where dudes get out of jail after they get their DUIs and things. I'm sure I could get myself in some type of stupid situation with one of the deputies or something. They'd be like, "What are you doing?" Or one of the court officials, but it's just good to be near the courthouse. That's maybe pushing it a little bit, waiting there Saturday morning trying to pick up DUI clients. But that's DocupletionForms. That's what we're doing right now. We're building a multiple level subscription. So you're going to you can use the contact form for free, and then also access a whole ton of different information publications for free. Then we have a $5 subscription level that gives you access to the programs, other than just the contact form, that you can integrate sideways to. So we have a PDF uploader filler. It's called our form reader. It reads the form database that people put information into the contact form, and then allows you to upload a PDF, and then with just a few clicks you map what information someone gave you and where you want that to go in the field of the fill in the blank PDF, like the little blue blank on a PDF. A standard document has to be unlocked. There's different places to get unlocked judicial counsel forms. We're also working on making that into an automatic document selection and completion, multiple document selection completion utility, to where you can already pre-upload as many documents as you want and set the conditional rules for when they're selected. And then you already have the routing rules for what data is routed into it. So that is what will make our program a full expert law system. Right now, it's just an efficiency utility that helps you to gather information and helps you quickly fill out a PDF, but you have to select that PDF, upload it, and fill it out with the information as directed from the contact form. It's something that will help a professional, and maybe you can find someone who hasn't looked at the issues before, but you can look back at this video. And then we are going to be having still our cPanel WordPress hosting for the same $5. We're keeping that part of it low. You can make an SQL database on a cPanel, and you can webhook from your contact form over to SQL. We're going to add in this SQL module to where you don't have to webhook at all. That's going to be really cool. We currently put in the webhooks for you, so you have to tell us where you want us to webhook to. If you don't know what a webhook is a URL that a company like Zapier gives you. You can currently webhook from your contact forms even without our Zapier connection completed. You can go sign up for the 25. They don't let you do it for free at Zapier. They used to, they don't now. You can sign up for a $25 subscription to Zapier, and you create a Zap, and you can create the action, or no, the trigger to be webhooks by Zapier, and you click it, and it gives you a URL. You take that URL and you put it into the webhook blank on DocupletionForms in your contact form. We're going to make that blank accessible to you, but right now on our contact form, there's a place where it says what webhook would you like in what contact form, and give us the email associated with your account. We put it in for you. It's just on the admin side. We have to do a little more development work to switch that part of the script so that the user can see it, so you can do it yourself. It does kind of slow up the works. Most people don't have too many contact forms, so what people use it for is to connect to like an email program. It's automatic because when you submit a submission through DocupletionForms, it automatically triggers that webhook to go. So, and then you have the Zap action that it does, which is maybe connect to ActiveCampaign or ClickFunnels or Gmail. You can email out from Gmail. That's something really cool. Some of the email programs like ActiveCampaign, if you don't set them up the right way, they will trigger the spam guard on your email program, and they'll go to trash or spam or whatever, and then the person doesn't see it and they think that, oh, this is another garbage thing on the internet. But if you zap over to Gmail and Gmail sends an email, and you can use your G Suite if you have a domain name and you want your email to be contact@yourdomainname.com. You can use G Suite and you can set that up, and you have to put a little code file on your server where your website is. But then once you get approved but verified is what I mean at Google, they connect your domain name to an email address that they give you, and so you can use basically the same back office as Gmail, because we're all used to using that. And then when you zap over, it sends out a Gmail that you already have set up, and it says, "Hey, this is our contact. This is our initial contact email. We're going to send you another email from our other email address, and it might go to your spam. So make sure to check your spam." Like something like that. People, I mean, they automatically feel secure once they get the email automatically. Zapier does this thing where it goes on a cycle, and it checks these different accounts like every 2-3 minutes. And so if someone inputs their information, it'll take like 3 minutes for it to check the input, and then it zaps it over to whatever email program you have. So if you have two things going on, if you have a slow cycle and it checks, it's 3 minutes there, and then you also have your automatic email program that you're using not set up from the right SMTP, so that it bounces to spam. It's like slow and it doesn't go to spam. Someone's like checking spam and they like move on. So like mad that they gave their email to someone who didn't deliver whatever they said they were going to deliver, but you de facto did. It just was slow. You can do away with those two elements by using a webhook. So even even when we're done connecting our program to Zapier, without webhooks are still valuable to use. So we're going to have a CSV, comma separated version. That's what Excel spreadsheets are, editor. We are also going to have a CRM that you can use, and we're going to have our own email program. That's going to be awesome. We're going to make that something that you can webhook to from other places, and we're gonna connect it so you still have to webhook to it internally, but you only have to do that each time you set up one contact form. So you webhook. We're gonna have a page when you log in. It'll be the contact form, the form reader that allows you to upload and complete PDFs. We're going to have the CSV editor, the CRM, and the email program like that. So you'll click a button and then that'll open in another screen. So you can have all 5 of those programs open at the same time on different screens rather than having a dashboard with the side where you click it and it opens up just one program in there. I know everybody knows how to right click, but we just decided to give you more screen room by opening it up on the side. We're looking at making it the other way, possibly because people are used to it, but it is actually a design choice because it gives you more room to work. So that's where we are right now. So we only have our $5 subscription level that only has cPanel and WordPress hosting, and also the PDF completion tool for $5, or you can just use the contact form for free. So in the coming months, there's going to be about 50 different elements that are added to our software. We have to finish the Zapier, then we have to do an update to part of our core program, and we already have these like 10 different add-on APIs that we're going to connect at that point, but they're predicated on the update we have to do first that is waiting on the Zapier. So everything is in order and en route to being put together over the next few months, but it is perfectly usable right now just as a regular contact form. It's free. We can connect in a webhook to a program like ZipForms Plus and Clio for the law industry, programs like that. So that's how we help you just become more efficient. It's not all automatic all the way to the very end, but we've made it so that you can do a multitude of things ultimately. And that's what's, the best programs out there aren't all just like, oh, there's only 4 buttons. I mean, it's not Simon Says the little game as a kid. We're professionals and we have to learn all these different things. I mean, there's a different legal duty and responsibility for each different type of activity we take and get into online. So really hope that when you do sign up that you avail yourself to some of the free literature too. We have a bunch of ebooks. You don't have to sign up for anything right now. You can just look at the ebooks. We're going to make it, though, that they're locked down unless you sign up for free, but it'll still be free. That will put you on a little email list, not a very intensive one. I'm just not a huge believer in over inundating people with emails about a product that they already like well enough to sign up and to use for free. So we're just hoping that you like the utility of it. All right. Thank you very much. This is me, James Polk, the founder of DocupletionForms, about to sign out, except for I just realized I have a PS. RetainerCrypto.online, our utility token, is coming out in the same time as all the rest of this. We are making a token that you can buy for $1. There's a small transaction fee and a small conversion fee. But then when you pay someone who has a wallet that they can receive payment from you using RCO, RetainerCrypto.online, you commit the full amount to the transaction, you pull the trigger on smaller amounts of distributions along the way. So you can pay an attorney rather than putting all your money in their trust account. If an attorney agrees to take payment this way, and attorneys, you can agree to take payment this way, and it will give you the ability through a different way of using technology to gain the trust of a new client. So if it's another option there for someone to pay you, maybe that's an option someone who wouldn't have chosen you for whatever reason. I mean, you can do all the things in the world to be trustworthy, but it's just one more little thing that until you have offered it, you haven't done all the things in the world. Once we get a little traction, it might become a thing. We're hoping that it becomes a thing that people kind of want to offer because it just changes transactions, and you're not really worried. You're not going to have to worry about it because the money will be committed. They can't pull it out backwards. They have to go to court or to a mediator or to an arbitrator. The mediator would only tell both sides what they should do, and then they have to pull the triggers to let go of the money. An arbitrator in that it's binding. We're not sure actually if a court will have to then give an order for the oracle keys to be triggered to cause a transaction to go either backwards to the client or all the way to the service provider. So that's where we are right now with DocupletionForms and RetainerCrypto.online and all in and ApexLawService.com. NAOLDP.org is where you can register your business, and AllInService.org is the project that you as a business professional can help a community organization do to help kids on juvenile probation. So I have a comprehensive set of things for people in the legal document related industries, and that includes contractors and subcontractors. You guys might not think of yourselves as being perceived with everything I've just talked about as someone under the umbrella of what I'm making technology for, but you guys do as much work with legal documents in your business offices as a lot of realtors, mortgage loan officers, some lawyers. I mean, the issue with contracting is you have to be almost a lawyer to be a contractor in some parts of the construction industry. So I mean, when I say almost a lawyer, you can be beyond your lawyer even. Maybe you've thought about becoming a lawyer and doing construction litigation, but there's kind of usually personalities that like construction. Like I'm kind of halfway in between a lot of times, having been a Marine Corps tank mechanic. It's the most technical weapon system in the United States Marine Corps, and I scored on the 99th percentile in the SVAB and graduated third in my tank mechanic training class back in like 2000 and what year was it? 2007, 8. I just really liked it, but I automatically gravitated over towards paralegal work rather than lawyer work and going all the way through law school because it's more of a orderly thing. Like you have to come up with the abstract reasoning for the argument for a case, whereas I take orders from an attorney and then disseminate the orders to a team of paralegals in the office. So to me, it's more. I mean, mechanistic isn't the word I want to use, but I really do see a lot of just schematic, troubleshooting, diagrammatic type of solutions for paralegal work. Whereas attorney work, there's always a little bit of subjective. I don't know. I just like doing the work for the attorneys. So that's it. That's me actually signing out after the double, triple, quadruple P P P P P P P P P S P P P P P P S. All right. Thanks.